odd one.
Listen, I've watched this show. I can't be more handicapped because I'm retarded for watching this show.
Oh, it's loyal, and then
Maybe.
and then this happens.
No, it's not.
Why did you get a wig from the reject shop, you fucking idiot? Like that would have cost you $2, you fucking what? What is it for fuck's sake? Just get a fucking proper head on the and some ears, like proper ears, like a twitchy fucking ears, and some kind of like droopy eyebrows. Like it's not that hard. Like you've got the actor, just get it right. You fucking Jesus.
Rand's road of trials on his hero's journey was dealing with a drugged-up best friend and a mid-looking black chick trying to sleep with him and then stealing his stuff and trying to stab him when he refused.
Yeah.
That's not epic fantasy. That's like a Tuesday night out in Atlanta. Like, how is this like an epic fantasy story? This is ridiculous.
Rand lifts up Egwene again, carrying her across the room as they kiss. He lays her down on the sheepskin rug in front of the dwindling fire, puts his body on top of hers. He pulls back from their kiss, and their faces are just inches apart now, the fire casting soft light on them. You know, my dad said I used to pick you baskets of berries to bring you when I was a kid, like some lovesick puppy. Sounds sweet to me. Rand pulls a small raspberry from his pocket with a roguish smile. He runs it down her nose and drops it sensually between her lips.
No, in Edmund's Field, women like absolutely dominated the entire social strata of like relationships and domestic life. By making it like this weird hookup culture, they actually made the women less powerful than they were in the book.
Flicker, 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 flicker. I have won again, Luz Theron.
All right, we're back doing this for episode 7. I got a new co-pilot in the co-pilot chair this time. There might be a little bit of lag because he's from pretty far away down under. Aldan, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Dano. And yes, there could be a bit of lag. Although I feel like it's performing pretty well today, the new house. So
there's not a whole lot going on the internet. So yeah.
It's Sunday afternoon here, so yeah.
And it's Saturday night, and everybody should be out and not hanging out with us. I've said this how many times?
Yeah,
this gets really sloppy, even at the start. Like I've been going all afternoon because I had to put the slideshow together, and it just caused trauma. Almost polished this one. Yeah.
This is the problem. This is the problem of not being able to drink at the moment. I tell you, makes it harder.
Yeah. That's true. But the other thing, I only realized this a little bit too late. Like I've been going with a co-pilot this year because it helps with the chat engagement. And I see you guys all, but I've got like this whole fucking iPad filled with shit to read. But I can't give Aldan any of the chat permissions. So we're going to kind of do this a little bit. I want to say more medieval. Like Aldan, if you read a good comment, you want to... You don't have to tell me it's a comment. You could steal the idea from these people, and it's totally fine. And I'll put this banner up for a little while, just so people get the fucking message, right? You should not be watching us live. You should like wait a little bit, get a bit of a lag going, run it at 1.25, 1.5 speed. If you give us money, we'll talk to you. Like that'll get highlighted. But
I'll keep an eye on the chat, mate. I'll bring anything to your attention that I think is relevant.
But also feel free to dive anytime in. I've got a pretty extensive slideshow here. I think we're going to go a little bit more in depth with this one than before because I said in the thing, I did a mid-effort review And I'm also going to be checking out our bingo card that we made last week and seeing how we actually performed relative to this. So if you're fine, and all you idiots in chat, I've warned you too many times now, so I don't care. I don't care if you get mad at me anymore. Whatever. 21 of you. Okay, great. Just going to dive in and let's go. I was really engaged in the first 2 seconds of this, and then I realized that I was watching the recap because all the white cloaks started slapping the shit out of the Tuatha, and good memories came back. Unfortunately, well, actually, the next thing that came up is Perrin X's wife. So I was even doing better, but I should have clued in that it was the recap. And then when I saw my dad get murdered in the same recap, like this was just too quick. No trigger warning for me at all. So I went right to the skip recap button after that. So
This is
that's how
Ali,
the
by the way.
intro was. Oh,
Everyone say
hey,
good day to Ali. Good day, Ali. You don't go.
Chat might, but I'm not reading that. Okay. So we open up on the Two Rivers, and it looks slightly different. I had to go check. This was the Two Rivers 2 seasons ago. Still got the same quarry wall.
Was it? Hang on. Was this? Isn't this the new? I think this is the new set, Dane.
This is the new one that I've got up right now.
Yeah.
This is the old one.
Yeah.
So it looks like the mountains have moved in on them. But whatever. That's a nitpick at this point. And I got to give credit to Alex in a side chat for noticing that, because he actually went back and looked at episode or season 1. So anyways, we're back at the Two Rivers. We open up on Emmons Quarry. There are 7 buildings in the whole town. The trees come right to the edge of the town, which, doesn't even make sense from just a practical purpose because of, forest fires and shit.
Yep.
And then they have a field full of tank traps for some reason. So if you see, they've cleared like a field where they want everyone to run through, and then they put tank traps in there. I don't think these people understand medieval siegecraft in any way, shape, or form.
No, they don't.
Because do you know what the easiest thing is to build that everybody has built since like the Sumerians? It's a ditch.
Yep.
You dig a ditch.
Get
yourself some high ground. You just stakes at the bottom or what? But you build a ditch.
Set it on fucking fire.
or you have a river nearby. You can get yourself like some water flowing in there. I mean, however much of history of siegecraft there is, like Julius Caesar had his legions make a palisade in a night and then burn the thing down in the morning. And these people have had a whole week to prepare, but okay, whatever. Too expensive of a production. So the busy, sorry, reading my notes again. The people are busy forging weapons and practicing with them. Perrin appears to be making his own axe, but they don't actually show him making the axe. That was in his dream. This dude is from the Two Rivers Distillery, and they're brewing up all the Molotov cocktails, apparently. And the Alcine boys have different accents, which was a little off-putting. Couldn't tell which one was darker than the other, but different accents was weird.
Yeah, there's not many white boys in this town, eh?
Well, it's more that the show established that the accents was the thing where you could tell where people were from. But if one guy sounds like he's from Kenya and the other one sounds like he's from Surrey, I don't know.
Doesn't really work.
No. So there's
it's interesting, Jet.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's interesting that the one of the biggest things that their actual audience is like complaining about is the colorism in the show, because they keep killing off all the black characters, and I'm like, yeah, but the only white characters I can see are fucking Sam Bowie so far, and maybe Rand. But
it's
so who else are you going to kill?
But it's the ones who have been killed. And at the end of this episode, you add Valda to the list. I think that's honestly the only reason why Padan Fain survives at the end of this thing is because he was black. Because they
killed Valda already. They couldn't do both, you reckon?
They killed. I think Elias Machera is alive. He's not back, but every other kind of really black character is dead. Karenni from season 1, dead.
Ispan, she's dead.
Ivan's dead. The random white chick, or the white Aja chick that Leanne bashed her head in with a club 3 times.
She's dead.
Yeah, but I thought that was Alvian. I thought that was Alvian, but it's obviously
I
not.
thought so too. I thought that was Black Eye Sedai, and then they like had another one that looked
Yeah.
exactly like her and called her Alviarin. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
And they sent Ispan off with the rebels. So I don't know.
All right.
She's
So
dead
anyways,
too.
there's a stupid sentry up on this tower and raises an alarm about the Trollocs and their wagons. Yeah. So let's just go back to the books and remember that Perrin actually
Trollocs
met
dead.
the Tinkers before this situation. He was rescued by them, offered them safety and shelter. They declined and said there's safety and movement. They'll keep going around. Here, they just show up inexplicably. And I do have to say, we had this on the bingo card. So I'm going to bring this up from time to time. But right there in the top right, we have the Tinkers are refused entry until Perrin convinces the town otherwise.
Okay, bang.
Stamp number one.
We had loyal doors on this.
Oh, don't get ahead of me, Deldan.
Oh, sorry.
Don't get ahead. It's coming. It's coming. All right. So
Call back.
yeah, I know. I put a lot of effort into this stream. Believe me. All right. So the Tinkers are dressed exactly like everybody else in the town, so you can't tell them apart immediately. They're just as equally ethnically diverse. They didn't even slow down, actually, even though the gates were. It's like they knew that it was going to open on them. But it turns out that Rain is dead. That's the guy who liked to do the bongo drums in the first season. Totally dead. Yeah. Trollocs did leave them a lot of them alive, but yeah. And then Perrin says the Trollocs are going to come tonight. I don't know how he knows this. He just says
I don't know how he knows this. If we go back to the start of this, right? Like so when was the last time, Dane, when we saw Perrin's story in episode 6? Did we see them like building any sort of fortifications or preparing for war at all? The only thing we saw was Foyil. The only thing we saw was right at the end, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just like with Foyil and Bain and Chiad who like worked out, there's Trollocs coming or whatever, right at the end of this.
Right at the tail end. And prior to that, Alana needed healing, and she got it from the Wonder Twins. And then Perrin needed healing, but he was mid-coitus with the 87-pound Mandar. I'm calling her Mandar. That's what she wanted to be called.
That's fair.
Yeah, Mandar, and she kind of looks like a horse. So anyways, Perrin, how he knows this, that the Trollocs are coming, he hasn't been talking to wolves. Is it a gut feeling? There's no Slayer. There's no like discussion in the dream world back and forth. I don't know how he knows any of this stuff. So, all right.
Just does.
Yeah. Well, there's some credits. I'm going to turn off this banner now because anybody joining a little bit later, your own damn fault, but all right. So after the credits, we get this scene and we're reminded that Tinkers are vegan pussies. Thanks.
Yep.
Isla says something stupid, and then Aram says that was stupid, and then Isla says, we bury our dead and go on. What else is there? I had to go and check to see if this was actually a Tinker saying. It's not. This comes up once in the book.
This is
Aiden says it.
This was just it was just a tie to Rand's Ruidian vision, to be honest. That's
right.
What it was.
But there are other things that they say, like there are other idioms that you could use about the way of the leaf. Like the leaf does not fight against the wind, or the leaf knows when it's his time to fall. They don't need to do this. And it's like they picked up on the wrong line from the books and tried to make it a thing. And it's not a thing. It's not.
Stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen.
Pussy on the chain wax. That's not a thing. All right.
Shit.
If I ever
takes
hear,
again, this is the beginning of the removal of Aram's agency, by the way. This right here is where we start to just remove his agency. Don't you dare eat that meat. Start right. And it starts here and it continues for the rest of this episode. Aram can't make a fucking choice for himself.
Aram should be, but again, because we didn't see the Tinkers before, and we didn't get an intro to Aram where he was still kind of happy and happy-go-lucky. Yeah. He comes into the Two Rivers in the books, and he is almost immediately seeking out how to help with the defenses. There's none of this helping out with running with the babies and what that he does later. He should kind of already be losing the way of the leaf right now. And instead, he's like...
Which Which is what I thought they were going to do here, right? I thought they were setting up like a scene for him to fight back.
Dude, could you imagine? Could you get the boy a steak, get him a fucking 3-way with Bane and Chiad, and put a fucking sword in his hand? Baller.
Or I remember too from the books. Like I remember Perrin overruling at stages as well, saying if he wants to do it, fucking let him. He's a man. Like, you know what I mean? If
he's a man.
Need the help. He's a man. I remember Perrin trying to give him that agency, even here. But Perrin does the opposite for this episode for Aram.
Perrin like joins the way of the leaf again at the end of this, but
yes.
Anyway, God. Okay. Yeah. Getting it all wrong. Okay. This is my 15th slide. So Bane and Chiad are horny for Aram. They suggest pegging him with their dirty maiden hand talk, which had like, I don't know what the fuck this was, but whatever.
We're going from fisting to elbowing. I think that's what that is.
I just don't know into who the elbow goes, but Loyal says
this is how deep we go. We can fit this much up Aram's asshole.
Loyal says it's not a good idea, so Loyal can read maiden hand talk now. Okay, great.
Yeah.
We haven't had any.
They weren't very subtle.
Haven't had any super chats yet, so I don't feel bad about ignoring all you guys so far. I'm gonna put the banner up for another 5 seconds or 5 slides worth. Okay, great. Okay, so after this, we got more Molotov cocktail preparation. So there's probably at least 3 of the 7 buildings in Emmons Field are distilleries. That makes sense. Alana is now, we show a scene of her trying to teach the girls who healed her how to channel. Her face paint is mostly gone. And her line here seems to be an oral sex lesson because she talks about the rosebud, but has to mention that it's pink. So we know she's a groomer from season 2. So we
do.
I'm on high alert whenever this chick says anything in this show.
Yeah,
gets worse. So Alana wants to suck on their power, and then Days Conger shows up inexplicably. That's my girl Days right there. There's not 50 plus little girls that can channel, which was like the original mission for Alana and Varen to come to the 2 rivers. It's just like Egwene and Nynaeve were from here. Let's see, we found 2 girls and now Days fucking Conger. Okay, great. Alana says that Days can see her weaves. I'm wondering who can't see your weaves at this point, Alana. That'll come up a little bit later in this episode. So this means that Days can channel, and they've been training for a week, and now finally Days shows up, and Alana, finds a third, like on the last day that she could possibly do this. But Days has got some reservations, not Dain, although I would have the same reservations, wondering if she can still drink booze and channel. So you're in a village facing annihilation, and you have your priorities well straight.
Correct. Well, she's on Wheel of Prime, so she has every right to drink herself to oblivion every day, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I only watched the thing. I couldn't imagine if I was actually in the production.
Actually.
All right, so MaxiPad is training spear wielders, and he's teaching them how to tickle the enemy with poison spears.
Yeah.
It's like an Elder Scrolls game. Like, you don't have to be good. All you have to do is touch them.
Just touch them.
Because you're all Prince Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones. All you got to do is tickle them. Just tickle them a little bit with the spear. They'll go down. Then Senbui calls Maxim a fucking retard, which is probably true. And then reminds them that they actually have longbows in the 2 rivers, and we're actually known for this. So go get your longbow. Why have you been training for a week with a fucking spear? Why didn't you bring this up on day 1? That's what I don't know. So, anyways, MaxiPad is self-aware. At least he realizes that he's a very shitty Aragorn, and he has to ape this line that he's going to die, but he's going to do it without any drama and somewhat humorous. Alana comes in and says that Days is powerful, but how do these women know that other women who can channel are powerful? I thought Moron didn't know that Nynaeve was powerful in season 1. They couldn't sense the presence or the ability to channel in other women, nor relative strength. And it was a talent that some Suldam or Damane had that were like the Hunter-Seeker Damane in season 2. So Whatever. Okay, whatever. Stupid show. Stupid show. Moving on. Moving on. Oh, great. Now we get a wolf head banner. It's revealed, and it looks like a bed sheet with strategically placed shit stains in the shape of a wolf.
No, it's worse. Why is it there? Like, what reason does anyone have to give a shit about wolf head banners? There's no reason for anyone to care about it at all.
The White Cloaks killed 3 wolves and put their heads on stakes. Perrin has demonstrated no wolf ability, so your criticism is valid.
I think that they said, did they have a line in here somewhere about Alana mentioning to the boys that Trollocs were afraid of wolves, which I think she does do in the book as well, I think.
Or it gets mentioned secondhand. Yeah. There's more setup like in the books. There's none of that here.
That's what I mean.
There's no Red Eagle of Manetheren either, but no. Stupid. All right. So after this, so Perrin says, like, why do they have to put up that one? Like, he's seen this banner before, but all right, whatever. Now we get the second of our bingo predictions, and that is that Mandarb here is teaching Perrin how to be a general. Giving all, like, if they wanted, the best tactician or the best, they'd pick Alana. If they wanted the best fighter, they'd follow the Aiel. But no, we're going with you. That's your role as leadership. So we're going back to the bingo card, baby, and we're going. Mandarb teaches Perrin how to be a general. Best to chat.
What has Alana done to? What has Alana done to demonstrate that she's the best fucking general in the world? By the way,
she got shot by 5 arrows.
She's done nothing. I've seen no battle plans. I haven't seen her do anything except for fucking mouth off and cause drama.
Well, you know what? We could reasonably assume Alana was behind all the battle preparations to date, including not cutting down all the trees intruding on the town, putting tank traps where they do nothing, and
are literally ineffective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So she's a winner.
It was probably her idea to fucking paint these swords with poison too. So that's what we get here. It's
well, poison is a woman's weapon. I think that's from the books.
That's from A Song of Ice and Fire. So paintbrush and poison onto swords. Great. We finally see some bows that other people are making, and now okay, great. The real heroes finally arrive. So Perrin and Mandarb, they ride out to see Dain. All those road barriers that we see with them are kind of silly.
You've got a new member, Dain. You got a new member.
Chris Townsend became a new member. All right. Thanks, Chris. We're going to ignore you from now on. Unless you give us more money. But thank you, sir. All right.
Back to the best character in the show.
Absolutely.
With the most useless. Best character with the most useless.
Luke doesn't even say anything in this episode. This is nuts. It's nuts that they actually cast this dude and then have him basically give 2 lines in a previous episode.
Do nothing.
And he's being somebody else's. He's a text message in this fucking episode. That's his. He's like, I got my message to Luke. So Luke relayed a message to Dain. He's like, he's the equivalent of a cell phone for these people. That's his role in this.
It's just wild to even, like you said, honestly, it's mind-boggling to think that they're even casting. Like, why would you? What?
No.
They haven't done anything with him. It just makes us think maybe they're going to do Slayer stuff. That's it. That's all it does.
It's a fake out. All right. So Dain has got a White Cloak branded brandy bag. And the only thing I'm left wondering is, where can I get this thing? Because I want that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I want that. I want to drink out of that one. So
I feel like we could make that. That's just like a leather jerkin, really.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. All right. So they talk a little bit and discuss strategy, and Perrin is saying about I got too many notes here. We know you have refugees and that the Trollocs are coming, and I'm like, we haven't even seen a fucking Trolloc. Like, no one's attacked a Trolloc yet. No Trolloc has attacked a town. You've established none of this. None of this has happened.
No hunting parties.
Dain is rightfully suspicious about, what are these Trollocs you're talking about? Because I haven't seen them. You're just trying to trick me. So he turns his back on Perrin after a heated argument. Basically, Perrin is like, I know it's you call me a dark friend, so it would be easy to hate me. And Dain is like, no, I hate you because you fucking killed my dad, who is only at Falm
Fair enough.
to fight slavery.
Yeah.
But that's what the White Cloaks were there. He's like
I know.
He's like a Union general fighting against the hated South, and he got axed by Perrin. And it's like, I don't need any more reason to hate. And I'm like, Dain, you're absolutely right. And then Chris Townsend,
thanks, Chris.
gifted 5 more memberships right as I was getting to making a point. But thank you, sir. It's
thanks, Chris.
We can see these because colors pop up on my side, but for the rest, I just ignore all stuff coming out of there. Okay, great. But where was I? The Union general, anti-slavery general. That's who Dain Bornhald was. Got axed over a dog by Perrin. Perrin says he's sorry. Dain scoffs, turns around, and then Perrin is like, as you're sorry for burning Natty Cawthon. No, she was a fucking witch.
Yeah.
It's like, not
From
really.
his perspective.
So Dain is like pointing here with his brandy bag. He's like, no, that chick was a witch. So I'm not sorry about that. Do you have any more witches? I'd want to burn them now. Okay, great. So Perrin then says that Natty died for Dain's grief. I'm like, no, the White Cloaks kill witches. Bornhald died for Perrin's grief, but that was over a dog. Perrin asks, where does it all stop? I think we're going back to the way the leaf shit here. And then Dain says, and God, I love him, it stops when you face the light's justice. Awesome. Awesome. Because, Perrin is a murderer. Perrin is murder. Perrin is murder too. Perrin is not a murderer. Okay, so then finally, Perrin invokes the name of the man he killed to get Dain to do the right thing. All right, whatever. Finally, this whole scene ends with Perrin realizing he should do the right thing and turn himself in. And I just got to say, that's another bingo. Well, not a full bingo. It's on the bingo card right there. Dain demands Perrin surrender. It's this one right now. Right there.
Not until after the fight.
But not until after the fight. Man, so, we're doing good. We're like 10 minutes into this thing. We got like 3 stamps already, guys. This is great.
So in the book, Dain, when does he come and demand Perrin's head? It's after the fight, right? It's not ever before.
Before the fight, so the White Cloaks show up. Yeah. And Perrin offers himself if they aid in the defense of the two rivers, or aid in the defense. They don't turn up. And in fact, that Dain, who is a shit person in the books, and why I picked him as my moniker, he stays up on the green, up on the hill, with all of his pretty lances, all his 200 or 400 men, and they don't even help out. The women come down to support the lines, and that
this is what they.
Yeah. That's so at the very end, the climax of Goldeneyes, the chapter, is when Dain tries to arrest Perrin, and Perrin says, I agreed to this if you helped, but you didn't.
And it's Bran it's actually Bran that steps in and says, go fuck yourself, which would have been really nice.
And then all of a sudden, all these veterans now, all these people who just fought off all these Trollocs, all armed, the armor creaks and, people loosen weapons and scabbards and arrows get knocked, and Dain, like a pussy, has to fucking leave. It's a great scene.
Yeah, but because it is a great scene.
Awful here.
Because they changed the mechanics of the battle, because they wanted to have women in the front lines from the start. They then had the White Cloaks come in and actually help instead. So they wrote themselves into this corner. We'll get to it at the end of the episode, obviously.
But you're right. They made a change, and it made it worse. All right. So what do we got here? Oh, my next slide here. So Loyal is seduced by Bane and Chiad. So Loyal is like, might be our last night. I want to play Maiden's Kiss. And that's another part on the bingo card, guys. It's right there. Bane and Chiad seduce Loyal.
Okay, this has a caveat on it, though. A slight caveat. It does. It has to have a slight caveat because he was clearly trying to get out of his toe or whatever, trying to get rid of it.
You know what? that's only in a slightly later scene, so you can't
like,
undo the bingo stamp. So when I saw this, I stamped the bingo
fair.
card immediately, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that, and I promise we'll not glaze over it. But I'm calling that a fucking bingo.
All right.
So
bingo.
you know what that
That
column there. We got this row up top, and we got the far right column. It's looking pretty decent. That's all I'm saying. All right. So now
it's off to a good start.
Yeah, but now we have to go through this. So Alana next.
We can skip this. Just say shenanigans.
Are you sure you don't want to see this? Are you sure? This is not
But
catharsis for you, but
all right,
okay, fine. We'll skip through it.
I think that Rafe has problems here. I think Rafe potentially has problems because he was very into Alana. I'm just saying. I know it's Rafe's boyfriend and everything, but he had more chemistry with Alana than he ever had with that other black dude. Just saying.
I don't even want to go there. All right. So Perrin's got his new axe. He eyes the hammer from across the forge. And then Mandarb shows up and he says, "You got to take those knives out of your sleeves." And I'm wondering, how does that even make noise? I don't know. But he apparently hears it.
Well, he's got good ears. He's got wolf ears.
I honestly think
which they haven't explained.
Yeah, no, but they might be alluding to the fact that Perrin strongly believes that the best way to sneak into a camp is unarmed, because that would fit with how he snuck into the White Cloak camp in the previous episode. Oh shit.
Okay. That's a decent head on that beard, Dain.
Oh, this is a quad, man. This is 10.5%. It's from Belgium. Nice. It's delicious.
They make
very delicious.
They make great beers in Belgians.
Yeah, I went on a beer trip about Belgium, and if we had an extra half hour, I could just stop and talk to you about it. I totally do recommend.
That. Every time Maxim and Alana get on screen, we'll just talk about beers in Belgium instead. I think that's appropriate.
Done. We're doing it. Okay. So we're now to this one. So Mandarb is back to teaching Perrin how to be a general. Perrin says that Mandarb needs to go because he cares for her after fucking her, after meeting her. And then Mandarb says the worst thing ever and accuses Perrin of only being afraid that he is going to axe her. And the teen angst like your wife? You're going to axe me? Don't worry about me. I'm going to live longer than you. Oh, you're worried you're going to teen angst up to fucking 11 with this. So it's like,
this would have been
you're trying to make me leave and I don't need saving. And you're 80 pounds soaking wet, you fucking horse. But
this would have been great if you had just picked her up and just thrown her outside. I would have given it all a pass. If you had just, when he got angry, if you had actually picked her up and chucked her, I would have been okay.
Barrelane can't show up fast enough in this fucking show. That's all I'm saying.
Amen.
They
won't.
So Mandarb apparently teaches Perrin the lesson he needs to learn, which is that women are men and should be conscripted into the military. That's where this is going.
Yeah.
Equal Rights Amendment.
This is going. Yeah.
Super chat. Like I was saying, people are following the banner. Okay, Shader Haran, we got to say, why is Perrin a lord, a leader? Why spare Fain at the end? Why does Loyal die if he can kill unlimited Trollocs? Can he kill he probably could kill unlimited Trollocs.
That's what he should have done. He should have smashed they should have smashed, if they wanted to do what they did, they should have had him smash the path and have the gate stay there in stasis and have the Trollocs jump over one by one and Loyal just bat them left and right with his fucking hammer.
That could have been cool. But the other thing from the books people forget is that when they exited the Waygate in the Two Rivers, Loyal took the leaf from the far side, brought it on. Yeah, he took the leaf and he put 2 on the outside.
Yeah.
Slayer made the comment, like, it would warm your heart to know how many Trollocs died at that Waygate that they couldn't open because Macham Shin came at them.
Yeah,
because they turned Macham Shin in the show into Mean Girls. Yeah. Someone who tells you the truth. Like, none of the Trollocs would die from that, but it was cool that, like, all those deaths in the books.
Imagine if they had we could do that. We could recreate that scene and we could have it with like Dodgy's therapist smashing Shin, like talking to Trollocs into like suicide, jumping off the side. You're so ugly. Oh, you wish you had a wolf head instead of a goat head. Oh,
you'll never be as smart as Narg.
You'll never be a bird-headed fucking Trolloc, you piece of shit. Get right. Actually, that would be funny. We should do that. Could make an animation of it.
Dude, we could be writers on this show. That's how smart we are. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're back to fake Maiden's Kiss, and I'm just wondering what the fuck is this? So Loyal tried to trick them with G-A-To. What? Because apparently this fun Aiel humor game can actually lead to death. And for many men and women, according to the Maidens, this is, you can't actually cheat a Aiel out of their toe because only an Aiel knows what their toe is worth. So you can't trick. Maybe they're doing a callback to Avienda trying to buy her toe and Rand basically gifting her the sword, or not the sword's gems back, and saying she's confounded. But like, that's Avienda being whatever she is in the books. But anyways,
I don't think they thought about it that much, Dain.
Probably not. So anyways, it's Uncanny Valley. They're getting all this shit wrong. So they end up deciding that Loyal releasing them from their obligation, meaning they can now leave, means that he is saving their lives because they're no longer obligated to stay, and therefore the other one owes her toe, and she stays or she goes where she goes. So great. It's all pointless. So I'm sticking with my bingo card. Loyal was seduced. Don't care. All right. On to Perrin talking to Bode and Eldrin. He shows them Matt's dumb picture, and they make fun of the stupid Horn of Valir and how fucking retarded it looks, and how it probably makes fart sounds, which it did.
Dude, we agree with this. I think we agree.
Yeah.
Bladder blew the bladder. That's even better than what we fucking came up with.
Yeah,
they must have been watching those streams.
That's possible, but it's like honestly, Matt, when he made his like horn blowing sound in that episode, it sounded like the brown note from South Park. And I honestly thought all the Sean shit would shit their pants rather than, all the heroes from Legend come. But Bode and Eldrin, fucking honorary White Cloaks for that observation. Well done, ladies. Anyways, then what happens is the Trollocs are coming down the mountain. There's some alarm from that. And they're coming down the only road from the Waygate. We can see them in the distance there. So let's have a town meeting. They're doing a town meeting in the Wine Spring. Alana says her plan is to burn them, but she doesn't, conveniently. Alana is going to use the one power against Dark Friends, which might be okay. That might be against the Oaths. It might not. Big whoop. Doesn't matter. Let's keep going.
Yep.
The Tinkers are established as great cowards who can bravely run away as fast as Sir Robin. There's a secret tunnel now. They dug a tunnel in the wines. Okay, whatever. You didn't dig a fucking ditch in front of your town, but you dug a tunnel out of the wine. Okay.
And
okay.
Where was this tunnel? Where is this tunnel
wasn't in the
supposed
books.
to be? There's not
apparently
even here either. Not in the show either. We never see. All we see is they go through the forest, right?
Well, now they come out through some rocks, but it's like, this is another way into the town, actually. And that a Trolloc immediately shows up.
But there's just, the town is surrounded by fucking trees on either side.
I know.
So you just walk through the
what's
trees.
The point of the tunnel? You could just run between into the trees.
That's crazy.
I don't know. All right. So on the next slide here, so Loyal is being sent home by Perrin. And first Loyal says, like, there are more reinforcements coming through the Waygate. And then Perrin says, okay, we got to go close it. I'm coming with you. And then Loyal says, no, you can't go. You got to stay here. You're important. And then Loyal's like, or Perrin's like, well, then if you go, don't come back. Go to your steading, heal yourself, and write a book. And maybe we'll fall, but with your words, the next one won't. And okay, whatever. You're trying to outdo Robert Jordan. You're not doing a good job, writer of this episode. This is dumb. Okay. So we got another establishing shot. We see all the Trollocs and the Dark Friends carrying torches in the day, so we know that they're coming. Great. Now
we know that they're stupid.
Now we've got there's a lot of things in here, and I know Steve was on this with Pips kind of as a reaction vid to this. I caught a bit of it in the gym, but they noted, and I have to agree, there's a shit ton in here that they basically just stole from the Two Towers. Right?
What?
So well, Maxim saying we're all going to die. He says it flippantly, but Aragorn says it kind of more serious. There's this shot right here where he's asking to inspect, I think that's Ban Alcine's sword. And he's like, this is a good sword. There's other stuff like when the White Cloaks show up in the middle of the night, that's supposed to like ape the elves. Like there's a whole lot of like the battle sequence preparation from a film point of view, not a book point of view, that appears to basically just be coming right out of Jackson's The Two Towers. So I just have to highlight it here because why would Perrin be looking at this guy's sword? I don't know.
Know. We've never seen him make it. We've never seen him make anything. Does he make? We've seen him make an.
I'm honestly worried that he like cuts himself on that sword and gets the poison on his fingers and dies.
I was going to say they're not being very judicious. Like they're it's a bit stupid. But we didn't even get to see him make this armor, which sucks, by the way. But we didn't. It's stupid. But we didn't even get to make him see the stupid armor.
It's a collar and some pauldrons and lacking a breastplate. Yeah, it's like all the vital organs that exist like above your heart.
Yeah.
Fucking retards. Okay.
He's got the beard for protection, to be fair.
I guess. So Perrin needs to give a speech, and instead they do a musical number. And this is a bit of a stretch here because we had on the bingo card that Alana was going to give a Weep for Manetheren speech, but they actually did the Weep for Manetheren song. Alana wasn't involved, but I'm saying like we got that one mostly right. I highlighted it yellow. It's a quibble, but it's like it's mostly there.
If this had have come with some kind of a speech from Perrin beforehand, like a good one, leading into singing that song, I wouldn't have hated that, to be honest.
Okay, it's a different color, Aldan. That's all I'm saying here.
All right, okay.
Go with me because
I'll give you your yellow. All right.
There's a number on here that like we were just way out of left field, like a fucking wedding between Fail and I had skepticism about that one. It made it on the list because like everybody bangs and doesn't get married. But all right, okay. I could be wrong about that. Anyways, so we're here now. Checking my numbers. All right. So I'm left wondering with this shot where you've got the Trollocs and the Dark Friends advancing, you've got a mountain on the side and you got no one on the high ground. Like you maybe should. Maybe that would be easy. You just get some people up in the woods, shoot down on them. Nope, they couldn't think. They couldn't think tactically.
They could have destroyed this army before it even got there. They could have destroyed this fucking army before it even got to the
with a single Aes Sedai shooting lightning bolts against the mountain to cause a rock slide to like swipe them out. Like
we've seen her, we've seen Alana rip the ground up twice in Gildan, and we've seen her do it in the first episode of this show. She could have destroyed just about every Trolloc here just by doing that, mate, in this tiny little fucking space.
Yeah. Anyways, they shoot 2 volleys of arrows. Maxipad gets a line in, and then they decide to absorb a volley. Like, okay. But then in the middle of the fight, we cut to Loyal, who's with Bane and Chiad at the Waygate, and they decide to charge in. I'm left wondering, how the fuck they get to the Waygate so fast? They were just inside the wine spring saying goodbye, and then there was the alarm like, okay, we got to go fight. They made it all the way to the Waygate, whereas the other people marching the other way took their sweet ass time. And
they only had
okay, I'm not going to think about it. Not going to. The Waygate appears to be nearby if it needs to be, and he's far away if it needs to be. So
they can run super fast. So maybe Loyal can actually run as fast as a horse, like he's supposed to be able to.
Maybe he picks up the maidens, and he like is.
Well, they could probably keep up with him. They would like to think they could anyway, I guess.
Maybe. All right. So we're back to the street fight. This is a telling shot because we see Maxim way in front of Perrin. And I'm going to call it right here with Perrin being that far back in the middle of everything. Another one of our bingo predictions that Perrin functions like a foot soldier in the battle. Boom.
He does right up until the end.
Yeah.
Right up until the end. And it was giving me the absolute shit.
I'm taking it. I'm putting the stamp down right now. I think I got enough evidence and I got enough to back that up.
Yeah. No, I think he can. Cool. I think you can say that. He does no leading at all. Then they do the. Oh, we'll get there. We're about to get there. Just keep going.
All right. So now MaxiPad puts his archers on the front line. Okay, because that's what you do. Perrin is shouting orders to like knock, draw, and loose. Why aren't they doing volleys? I don't know.
He's also like knock, draw, loose. Like you may as well just say, hang on, loose. Yeah, fuck.
And then fucking MaxiPad uses his Warder Bond iPhone to send Alana a text message.
God. This okay, so my housemate looked at me when we were watching this and said, they can't send ESP messages, can they? And I said, no, they can't. And then I said, actually, later on there is something that different that happens that you're not up to yet, so I don't want to spoil it. But no, Alana and Maxim can't do this. That's absolutely correct. It's not a water thing. It's not a bloody Aes Sedai water thing where they can fucking talk to each other's minds, generally speaking.
Anyways, the signal is given regardless. So Alana starts channeling. She's now connected with Bode and Eldrin and Drunkcloak Congar, and they create this weave in the sky. And I honestly think, well, the prediction was, I'm not taking this on the bingo card, that she's going to cause a flood. She causes a storm, but it doesn't start raining men. It starts raining icicles. But everyone looks up like an idiot.
Imagine if that was
which,
Maxim's ESP. Send me the men.
Yes.
Super chat.
Super chat. Dumb and Stupid, or Dumb Stupid, says no named characters died in this battle. That's wrong, and it's a plot. I'm gonna get to that. I had that in my notes here. It's in my fucking iPad full of shit, dude. Just be ready for it. I hear where you're going. I appreciate the super chat, but we're gonna get to that as a point later on. All right. So the icicles are coming down, and it actually does kill this chick. So icicle right in the neck. Great. Oh shit, where am I? It's a good thing I numbered all of my fucking slides in my notes here. Great. Okay, so Alana stops the ice barrage because her spells are depleted, and then Daze Congar decides to give up drinking because she coomed from the channeling. Great. So then we cut back to everybody who wasn't bombarded by ice, which was all the good guys, and MaxiPad decides to dismiss Perrin from the front lines to go see what is happening. So Perrin and Mandarb rush back to Emond's Field. And then they talk about what is going on, and apparently the Trollocs are making a tactical retreat. Perrin is sus because all of a sudden he is a Trolloc expert. And then we see Alana come back from the high ground and take this harpoon through the chest.
Like a harpoon through my chest.
Just like Moby Dick, like from Hell's Heart, I stab at thee. Oh my God, that going through the, yeah. When I saw this, okay, I maybe I jumped the gun on the bingo card because I went right to stamping it. Alana dies and MaxiPad dies in a fit of Warder Rage. But I had to change the color here to yellow because it didn't end up fucking happening. But I'm going to put the yellow on it. She should be dead. She should be dead.
And they don't do the Warder Rage. So
no, if anything, he orgasms. He fucking cooms right here. Look at that face.
Maxim's a dark friend. Maxim's a dark friend confirmed. There you go.
Oh, you mean like Jeannie Cade basically coomed what? Maybe it goes the other way.
They are so big brained. That was foreshadowing for Maxim being a dark friend here.
Maybe we'll find out in season 4. That will never happen. That's a good point. All right.
She is dead though. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. We just
the barbs are like this wide.
It's gone right through her heart. Right,
or lungs,
hasn't it?
Or liver, or like everything right through the
dead.
JFK died from like. Anyways, whatever. Okay, let's get off of this. So
dead.
Daze Congar,
super shield. Daze Congar can make a shield.
All
no
of a sudden.
training. Congratulations.
here's the weirder thing, Aldan. You see that shield, and you see that, and I paused on this frame. Who is channeling at her shield? Because what is blasting holes in it?
Well, I think it's supposed to be the arrows that are coming in. Which
why is there a flash? Didn't Alana stop all the arrows in season 1 with like was like an air weave? She like stopped them.
Yeah.
Why do this? But anyways, Days dies.
But by the same,
too big ass air, like right up. So rip Queen, you deserve better. She immediately she tried to improve herself. She fought for her people. She gave up drinking. Her life was on the up and up finally, and then defended Alana and the girls with her magic shield weave that she never knew about, and then got skewered by, I think it's 2 of these massive javelin arrows. So
yeah, they're big javelin Trolloc arrows, I guess. Well, they're not big enough for spears, but the big arrows.
Rip Queen or Rip Queen Days. Let's just remember that. Okay, so
that's the only realistic thing that's happened, by the way. If some stupid dumb bitch just decides to try and be an Aes Sedai in the last minute, throw up a shield, she should get stabbed through the head with a fucking arrow.
Well,
that's about correct.
The other stupid thing that I'm wondering now is like, who shot those arrows, and why is that never addressed later on in the fight? Because obviously there are Trollocs up on the ridge behind Emond's Field, shooting kind of behind the Wine Spring Inn. That never comes up again. This is a one-directional fight. There's one road into Emond's Field, and that's kind of where they fight. This shot alone, apparently they were surrounded. So,
what are you doing?
I ain't doing nothing, Aldan. I think that's your dog, bud. Yeah. Anyways, she's cute. All right. Loyal, Bane, Chiad are slaughtering 10 times their own number at the Waygate. Millie Skane, who is kind of mentioned tangentially, gets her throat slit. It's great. And then Loyal fights a bunch of people who are on wires because they accelerate as they fly away from him, which some of the worst rope work I've seen since season 1. So anyways, they kill everybody, and then Loyal decides, I'm off to die. And we get this shot. Great. Let's cut back to the fight. So Maxipad retreated. Okay, that's fine. Alana has got a giant harpoon through her, and she's somehow still alive. But okay, that's fine. The girls can't heal her, but that's okay. That's not fine. You can't say okay in a fantasy show. I've said that however many times. You do not put that in your fucking dialogue. That's just awful. Worst show ever. All right. So now we go and okay, where am I? Now the White Cloaks inexplicably show up like they're the elves from the 2 towers. And Perrin says, we got to open the gate. This is totally not a ruse. So the cheers go up for the mighty White Cloaks, and everybody is happy. I just have to say that too many of these White Cloaks are on foot, and the ones that are on foot appear to be out of shape. I didn't catch it on the best one, but I think like the 3rd or 4th guy in this line is at least 230 pounds, which is heavy for a Czech extra. Anyways, Dain says that he saw no Trollocs on the road as Maxipad retreated, so the road was empty, and I'm wondering who cleared the road. Did the Trollocs clear their dead, and did Maxipad, who was under threat, clear his dead? It's a bit of a mystery, but then Fain shows up, and we get the double cross. We get the ultimate strategic double cross here. And Aldan, I'm wondering how is this Fain's plan?
I don't know.
Why would you betray him? Why would you betray the White Cloaks now? Why didn't you kill them all back at the White Cloak camp?
Well, you wouldn't. And why would you not get inside the gates first properly?
Yeah, well, why wouldn't he have a helmet on that like covers his face and then do a reveal once everybody's inside? Everybody's inside, and then maybe kill some defenders before you like call this attack. Yeah. But we could think of a dozen different ways that this would make more sense from a strategic point of view. Like this is the worst decision that Fain could make, and
It plays off that way.
It's dumb. So, anyways, what's also dumb is immediately after this, so Fain signals that the Dark Friends all need to attack, and instead of there being any confusion, which you think a tactic like this would engender, immediately all the good White Cloaks know who the good White Cloaks are, and the bad ones must be Dark Friends, and they turn around and start attacking each other without a second thought. They don't know who's Dark Friends, and then Trollocs come from the woodwork. I mean, we started throwing Molotov cocktails from the walls.
Well, they come in.
They're right there. And Dain was like, "I never saw them," and they're like, "They're 50 fucking feet behind you."
They're right there with Fain's army, with Fain's reinforcements. Like the Trollocs are with Fain's reinforcements. So it doesn't make any sense at all.
And then Dain turns around and you're butchering my favorite character show. And Dain says, he's like, "I didn't know about Fain." And then Perrin says, like, "Well, you should have." And I'm like, "But Dain, dude, you had Mr. I've only seen them twice on your team. And for some fucking reason, they weren't suspicious of Fain at all." Valda, you dropped the ball here, bud. I can't go with this. All right. So, anyways, side question here though is where the fuck did all their horses go? I just got to go back one.
They didn't bring a couple.
No, the White Cloaks. I'm going back here. They all rode in on fucking horses. Like all of them coming here. Like there's dozens of White Cloaks coming in on horseback.
Oh yeah.
And then all the horses disappear. This is our thing. We do a horse watch, right? We got to pay attention to this for Pips' sake, right?
Okay. Yeah. We should have added that on the bingo card. Actually, that would have been. We should.
Yeah, that all the horses disappeared. Yeah, it would have been.
All
good.
The horses disappeared in a puff of smoke.
All right, so now we've got a line of women warriors defending the Wine Spring Inn. Tell Isla and the Tinkers to go take the babies and go run down the stupid tunnel that exists. But this, I'm going to say, this is a bingo moment of our girls get it done to be. I know we expressed a little bit too much that they would actually do the line about being a woman is be alone, never alone. But the main message of this general prediction is that there would be a girls get it done moment where it's women to the rescue. This is our moment. We're going to do it. We knew it was coming. I am putting down a fucking red stamp right there. I'm taking it.
That's fair.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing a stupid show prediction row that even though one of them's a yellow stamp, maybe we get there. So I've got some hopium. All right. So the Tinkers bravely run away. We get some more battle shots, and we cut now to in the ways Loyal is trying to suicide because he lied about being able to lock it. Okay, great.
So why did they not? What do you think the reasoning is behind them? Just not they used the leaf at the start of this fucking season, right? Like, what is the logic behind not doing it properly here? Like, why?
People would be like, well, they could channel to open it or some. You don't mess with the mechanics of the magic system early on. It creates a butterfly effect. The ripples come out of it, but it would be like
so because
they were retconning the waygates to here, but they didn't.
Because they had to use because they had to let Aes Sedai be able to open them. They then had to destroy it and fuck something else up later. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Sad but true. But the thing is, they really wanted to kill off Loyal in season 1. They did, and then they got called out for it, and then they brought him back. So all right, let's give them a proper send off, and they can't be mad about that. Do you know now. That's. Do you know what
people are saying, Dane? People are saying that no, there's multiple levels of like roads in the ways, and he's just fallen down onto another road, and he's going to come back. He'd be alive.
Yeah,
which I think is worse. That's another fake out death for Loyal. Oh fuck!
We don't ever have to know because there's not going to be a next season. But anyways, so Bane and Chiad, who are guarding Loyal's back, decide to veil up, and they're going to kill dozens more just among the two of them. So that's what we can look forward to. So the Tinkers are running with kids. They got out of the tunnel. A Trolloc is also jumps out of the tunnel from where they all came from. So somehow the Trolloc came through and down the Wine Spring tunnel.
I've just got to call something out here. Avernus saying, "You do not want Berlaine to happen. I am warning you. You don't want Reginald's version of her." He's correct. I take that back from the cosmos. I don't want Berlaine to happen. You are right, Avernus. I agree.
Oh, Abby's saying that? You do? Okay. Hey, look, guys.
He's right.
I'll dance and read in chat.
A little bit. Yeah, I've been trying to.
That's a good one.
That he's right. Can you even imagine?
I've seen his Avienda, so I
should be a drag queen, actually, probably. Should be a drag queen. That's it. Berlaine will be a drag queen.
All right. Okay. So Trolloc comes out of the tunnel. So one of them got past the women's circle. He jumps, and this is, if you go and watch the video of this, like this looks goofy because I caught him in mid jump, but like
the CGI is horrible.
Everything about this Trolloc is just absolutely crazy. Yeah. So even
it takes you right back to season 1 when the Trollocs were jumping across that river when they were chasing them to Shadow Logoth. Exact same type of really shanky, CGI nonsense.
So Eamon Two Slings Valda goes around killing Dark Friend White Cloaks. Okay, great. Then we cut back to Aram, and he's crying. He's crying in the woods, and then the baby starts crying, and we're all kind of worried now because that's going to totally give him away. It does, but the Trolloc conveniently kills a friend of his. Then Aram runs away and he fumbles the baby. So that baby is probably dead with this fumble, but that's okay. Because what ends up happening is the Trolloc loses its sword in this encounter. And now I'm beginning to think that the Trollocs would be more effective killing machines if they were fucking unarmed.
Yeah.
Because this is now the second time that a Trolloc has lost their weapon and then got killed. And got killed because of, exactly. Nynaeve did this in the pools, disarm the Trolloc, stab it. This idiot fumbles baby, loses sword, gives weapon to Tinker. Tinker stabs it, dies. And then for some fucking reason, at the end of this, like this is some tragedy, Isla looks and it's like, oh my God, the nightmare fuel didn't get you and eat you and kill that baby. Instead, you stabbed it. That's so much worse.
It's crazy. Well, they went to the trouble of setting up this scene here to again. They've done a bit of work here trying to tie the Tuatha arm back to Rand's visions. Yeah, that we saw in Ruidian.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone to the trouble of making a similar scene here with that's what Lewin had with his spear or whatever on the ground when he picked up the spear. But they don't even have her. Would you not at least have her say something similar to the boy about
her
covering his face?
Her expression here and her reaction, it's indefensible.
It is indefensible.
Yeah. So if and the thing is,
like, what do you want me to do? Let him eat the baby?
It's only
let him eat the baby.
Yeah, I don't know what they're fucking doing, but it's if they wanted to make the argument against the Way of the Leaf any stronger, they couldn't have picked a better way to do this than what they show, which kind of seems like, well, why did you kind of build it up in season 1 and like not propose any of the counter? Because Perrin and Elias have counter arguments to the Way of the Leaf all throughout book 1, but those lines were cut.
Yeah, they don't present that. What they do the opposite. Perrin ends up following the Way of the Leaf at the end of this season.
Perrin ends up fucking following the Way of the Leaf at the end of this episode.
That's what I mean. Even though they've just demonstrated how we're. Yeah, I don't think that they intentionally did this. Like, I don't think they understand what they did. They just showed the futility and the ridiculousness of the position, and then they make him follow it anyway. It's just, I don't think they know what they did.
No. Every once in a while, like, we think what they do is malicious, and then we get reminded just how fucking stupid they are, and we get our doubts again. Yeah, it is fucking stupid. All right, so Isla sees that Aram killed a Trolloc. Shock, horror. Oh, how could you? How could you pick up a weapon to defend yourself from fucking nightmare fuel? Oh, good God, Isla, why don't you fucking die? All right, so anyways, Perrin is killing Trollocs in his forge again. He kills a couple, and then, well, maybe one or two, maybe one. He decides to take a Kit Kat break to feel sorry for himself, and then talks to Mandarb, who explains to him that failure is freedom, which is probably what the writers have emblazoned above the doorway to the writing room.
That's on the top of their folders that they get. That's on the table.
It's on their laptop, right? It's just like, fold it down. Failure is freedom. If I suck, I can do whatever I want. Motto for this fucking show.
Yeah.
All right. So what they say coming out of this is that Perrin is going to go fight. He's going to attack the Trollocs, and Mandarb needs to stay behind him. And Mandarb is assigned to kill all of the ones that he misses, which happens to be every fucking one. If you actually watch this in slow motion, Perrin comes out of the forge. He does some chops. Doesn't finish anyone off. That's left to Mandarb to basically triple stab or quadruple stab and do her flippy kicks or whatnot to, like, get at them. So, yeah, exactly. Kill the ones I miss. And then he literally misses 3 fucking Trollocs, and Mandarb has to kill all of them.
Well, he bashes a few of them. He bashes a bunch of them.
Yeah, he gets one. But
I don't hate this. I don't hate this. Is the one part of this season that I did. I thought I was going to hate the dual wield thing. When he picked up the hammer, I was like, "This is going to suck so badly."
Hammer and okay. That's a little bit later, Elton. All right.
Oh,
all I'm saying here is it's later when he has the dual wield. That's when he's on his like tear to go for Fain. Yeah. You jumped
I'm
the
with
gun.
You then. This part sucked as well.
yeah. You blew your load, bud. All right. So Marin Alvear gets a boss fight kill. From the looks of things, it's like the biggest, baddest Trolloc, and it's like all the teamwork involved to bring it down. And then Marin Alvear gets this shot of like double hand stab over top and finishing it off. And all I gotta say with this,
you go, girl.
I'm taking a fucking bingo on this one. I'm taking a full. Marin Alvear gets a higher kill count than Perrin, largely because
this was a boss.
Perrin hasn't finished killing yet, but it's a boss.
Perrin doesn't even. Okay, and Perrin notes out on his boss battle.
Exactly. So we're going. So I'm saying this is a full one because it's on experience points rather than just pure body count.
Yeah.
That tough-ass Trolloc, that was 1,000 XP fight. Everybody that Perrin killed, he only maybe got like partial credit for each because Fail finished them off. Or Mandarb did.
He gets negative 500 XP for like noping out on a Fain kill, for sure.
That's also valid. So if you're fine with it, I'm putting a fucking stamp down here on Marin Alvear, and all of a sudden that rightmost column is looking pretty good. All right. And Carl, no, you'd give that a yellow, but no, it's my bingo card. And you know what? I'm not making any money off of this yet because I only got one fucking super chat. All right. Anyways. So Sling Valda goes to the infirmary to get a new strap for his sling, I think. And instead he finds a coven of witches. And Sling Valda can apparently see women. He can see women channel because he identifies Alana and but then immediately
there's no other way to say it. He sees it.
It was you, so you realize he burned Natty to death for no reason, but then he gets burned to death. So whatever. And Bode and Eldrin have absolutely no problem channeling anymore when they need to kill a guy. Okay, great. And then Alana laughs maniacally, like, she's such a great character.
Shouldn't she have been dead while the sun was still up? Because like she got
Yeah.
shot through the heart by a javelin
that had like a double barbed arrow that was like this fucking wide and like
sticking
took
out of
out her
her
rib
chest.
cage. Whatever. Let's make her likable, laughing at a man burning to death. All right, great.
They think this. They've made them superheroes. It's so weird. They've made the.
Do you remember in the Dragon Reborn when Varen turned on the girls for using the one power as a weapon against Dain when they arrived at the White Tower?
Yeah, when Egwene pulled up the earth, right, and Varen went nuts.
Here, your two proteges that you're trying to entice with your pink rosebuds, you fucking perv. Just laughing maniacally as your two new witches in your coven light someone on fire. Well done, show. You've caught the essence of what it is to be Aes Sedai. Okay, back to the fight. The women used the Guy Ladriel rope trick to take out a Trolloc. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch that.
They ran up on both sides. They had a rope and they fucking clotheslined.
Oh, did they?
A fucking yeah. Just like in Rings of Power.
I was probably spewing up at that point.
So Perrin gets mad, goes for Fain. Mandar kills what he misses, which is most of it again.
This is the part that I thought was okay. When he came out,
he kills a bunch, and then he hucks his hammer, and he like clips Fain on the side. It's good.
What I thought when he came out of that thing, he should have told Feo to get fucked. But let's put that aside, right? So let's put that aside. What he actually does when he comes out of the smithy is fantastic. And when he was doing this, I was like, this is giving me flashbacks to Rand from Ruidian. I'm thinking, if you let this boy go hunting Trollocs for 2-3 episodes earlier in the season, let him build a war. You would follow that man to battle, sure. If I'd seen that for 3 episodes leading up to this, then it would have made sense to be calling him Lord Perrin Goldeneyes, and I would believe it. But I didn't see any of that, and it just made me mad. But it was okay. He could do it. He could have done it. Marcus Rutherford, who I didn't think could do it, he demonstrated that he could have done it if they let him.
They did. They sent him into the White Cloak camp to do the rescue without a fucking weapon.
And fucking cucked him all along the whole way, right?
Yeah.
They stripped all his agency away. He did jack shit.
I know. All right. So it's Uncanny Valley because in part, like, you give him a boss scene and then he does this where he basically where he offers a truce to the shadow. But first, like, Perrin is asking why Fain hates them. In the books, like, he knew why Fain was there and would be involved. Fain says the reinforcements are coming through the Waygate. There won't be any lanterns at Beltane this year. And I'm like, what? You mean like a month ago? Because that's when the last Beltane was, which only happened to be 7 months after the last Beltane. After that, how many fucking Beltines does this place have? But whatever.
They must be rolling around the sun at an increased rate.
Pretty soon. I think we're going to have a Beltane like at the end of this episode. Now, maybe not. That could have made it to the bingo card, actually, but it didn't. So anyways, now it's time for Loyal's dumb death scene. There's no Machim Shin. There's nothing what we kind of expressed before. All he had to do was kind of lock it or create a barrier or block some kind of access to it and whatever. So instead, Loyal starts humming the tune for Weep for Manetheren, which he has never heard before.
Yep.
Great.
Again, when he started humming here, and someone else mentioned this on something else that I watched the other day, which I agree with. When he started humming, I thought, if he like makes something like, are we going to get some singing? Is he going to sing something into being here? Something really good. I thought this could be cool. No, not at all.
No, he just hums a song he's never heard and has no connection to, and then he smashes down on the ground and plunges, just as like everybody's about to show up, but him and his Waygate area of this video game level of whatever it is, they decide to plunge into nothingness. So okay,
so this is where people are saying, "Up, he's just fallen onto another level." No, he's dead, guys. He's fucking dead.
Meanwhile, outside the Waygate, we got our 2 Aiel maidens, and they are conveniently defeated and on the ground. And then the explosion blast happens from the Waygate, and the shockwave happens to kill everyone except them because they're down on the ground and they survive it. And I got to go back to the bingo card.
So they must have taken
Loyal
notes
dies.
from Leanne. Yep. So
We're
the Bain and Chia took notes from Liana when she got down on the ground and covered up Swan, protected her from that one power. That's the secret to surviving one power bloody explosions. Just duck.
Duck and cover. It's the same with nuclear weapons, by the way.
Yeah, just duck. No fallout. You're okay. Just duck.
All right. So Perrin sees the Waygate explode, and then Perrin turns back to Padan Fain, and I'm like, I smell the fear on you. He's taking a sweet time with this monologue, by the way. And then Perrin decides to let Fain leave if he promises to use his Trolloc speech orders that everyone will listen to and just like fuck off, right? So
yeah,
Fain's got some awesome Trolloc language skills, and I think this is the first shot where you kind of see all the bad guys separate from the good guys, and they're going to retreat. It just looks like a furry convention, in all honesty, because there's some guys in dirty white cloaks, but there's some obvious like humans in bear costumes deciding to walk out of this. So yeah.
It's great.
I think I got another shot of it. Now the good guys on our side here start cheering like, yeah, get out of here, you fucking furries. Great. All right. But I went a little bit too far here. I gotta honestly wonder, like at the end of this, like what the fuck happened? What the hell is going on? I know we had a super chat earlier that was asking about named characters, but Aldan, I want to ask you, like, let's go through some named characters who died. Not loyal, because he wasn't in this fight. Neither was Bain and Chiad, but did Maxim die?
Maxim did not die.
Maxim didn't die. Alana didn't die.
Alana's
still alive.
Well,
she's still alive.
Are you sure? I think she's going to die. I think she's dead. I think that might be the controversy. But everyone, like all the shills, even the shills like that have seen it, have reported that there's something in episode 8 that is really controversial regarding an ice to die.
Oh, I got ideas about that, but I got to have you on. We're having a prediction stream with Amber early next week about that. But I think everybody that was in this episode is not in the finale. I think they did that deliberately, and that's actually how we based kind of a lot of our predictions for this. But if Alana survives, and we see her later, but Fail, or Mandarb, she's alive. Marin Alvear is alive. Isla's alive.
The entire women's
Aram's
circle is
alive.
fine because they held the line.
Perrin is good. So
It's
I'm
just
asking you. Yeah.
It's just days.
There's one named character. Rip Queen Days Congar. You're the only named character that died in this fucking fight.
And why are we not counting Loyal? Because we haven't seen the body.
No, because he's in a different fight. He's off at the Waygate. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So it's the next day. We're doing the body cleanup. Like I was saying, Alana's totally fine. So apparently, after murdering Eamon Valda with fire, they discovered their healing powers again. Were able to push the giant arrow harpoon through Alana and then heal her right away. She says that she's not going to take Bode and Eldrin to the White Tower because she's got better plans for them. And I'm like, get this fucking woman.
Oh, she's alive.
Away.
Hang on. Go back.
Yeah.
When did you? What? I didn't. I must have, dude. I must have like fallen asleep. I don't remember it being alive. I don't even remember it being alive.
No, she's totally fine. There's not even a hole between her tits anymore. She's totally good.
Did they explain? They didn't explain this either, did they?
No, I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain. All right. We got another super chat. Carl Kenner, Australian dollars. Hey, yeah. Shiane is a named character who dies. See the credits, even though she isn't supposed to be introduced for another $2. I
she's a
agree
dark
with that,
friend,
but
whatever.
she is not in the same fight, right? And she's a dark friend. But yeah,
so
Lady
she's
Shiane got her throat slit by the Waygate. I appreciate that. Like, I agree, but I would still say under the same conditions. I was asking, like, who named characters in the Two Rivers fight where the Emmons Field fight died, not the Waygate one, because if I had to do that, like, okay, I'd have to include Loyal. But it's like all these characters that we got introduced to, like Ban and Will Alcine. We got introduced to Sen Buey. We got introduced to Marin Alvear. All these people fucking lived. The only one who died tonight was Days Congar.
Didn't we lose Will back in episode 1 of season 1 though? With the wasn't he dancing with the Gwen?
That was a Thane. I think that was a Will Thane. It wasn't a Will Alcine.
It wasn't Alcine. Okay, all right. Yeah, we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any of Perrin being jealous of Will either. Well,
he's not that good looking. I took a look at his calves and I wasn't impressed.
They weren't turned. They weren't turned properly.
Not well turned. Definitely not.
Not well turned. Oh, fuck off.
Anyways, so yeah, Alana's totally fine. Alana's a total groomer. So get her away from these girls. This is creepy as fuck. And now we get this.
Yeah, I'll
so
Aram. I don't remember knowing.
Okay, so this is Aram in the aftermath, and Aram knows that he fucked up because he should have let himself get eaten to death by that Trolloc along with the baby. So he's feeling really down about himself. But thankfully, Marin Alvear.
I didn't fall asleep, so I remember the actual end. So I must have just tuned out for this shit.
Yeah. So Marin Alvear comes up and says, like, well, like, you can't go back to the Tuathon because you picked up a sword like a fucking idiot and saved your own life. But if you want, you could become our new town blacksmith. And
you can eat meat now too.
I'm honestly just reminded that you cannot predict this show because whatever your fucking prediction, it's going to do something dumber.
It's going to be dumber.
So I'm going to take that as license to do what I'm about to do right now, which is on my bingo card where I had Aram in that bottom corner picks up a sword and dies. I am now going to change it to Aram picks up a sword and becomes the fucking town blacksmith, which is totally stupid. I'm going to stamp that. I'm doing it. I'm stamping that, and I'm going to fucking say I got a fucking bingo. Bingo right there. That column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got them all.
Does he agree though? Does he agree to be the town blacksmith? Because
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's a quibble. All right.
He's handpicked by Egwene's mum to be the new town blacksmith. His parents.
We got a bingo, baby. We're fucking geniuses, yo. I can't wait for the finale. We're gonna do that on Amber's stream early next week. Wait and see. It's gonna be great. Although I think a lot of it'll be there will be more chat involvement on that one because she's a bigger channel. Anyways.
Gadfly makes a great comment here. Aram got hang on, no, where is it? Yeah, there's no master blacksmith. Who's going to teach him? He doesn't know what he's fucking doing. There's no master Luhan. There's none of it.
All right, we got another Aussie cunt on giving us a super chat. So Tom Maryland, pour one out for Tam, Abel, and Bran. The missing men of Manetheren. We shall not see them again in the shit show. That is fair. We won't. Thank you, Thumb. Just so everyone knows, all the funds that we raise on the White Cloaks, we don't spend on ourselves because we're retarded. But also, we buy books, put them in libraries, public school libraries, so that maybe one day a kid stumbles upon The Eye of the World and finds a series that they love. So that's what we do with all the money. So,
yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
No, it was Alex's idea, but his channel, he gets all the money anyways, and I'm only going on his word. If he's got some under the table kind of shenanigans running, I wouldn't know about it, but I trust him. All right.
That's okay.
So anyways, Loyal left his book behind, and damn it, Loyal, you had one fucking job. That's what Perrin is thinking right here. It's like, fuck you, god damn it, you had one job to go write a book about us, and you fucking failed at that. but nah, he kind of knew what was up. Loyal with his sacrifice, but we get a Loyal voiceover as Perrin is surrendering to Dain as he should. He says that violence never ends until someone says enough. And I'm like, dude, you just fought against fucking Trollocs, for fuck's sake. Why are you thinking? Nicely? What? Why are you thinking this? Do you think?
So stupid. It's fucking. It's who wrote that? Like, honestly, who came up with that? Like the disconnection, the cognitive dissonance in this is extraordinary.
Oh, white guys wearing all white has Perrin chained while not adding someone with a whip. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give them a pass for this shot here, Jeremy, because technically I'm chaining Perrin. I'm totally cool with it. It's all good. That's in this next shot here, or penultimate shot.
I found the horses. We're on the
penultimate.
I found the horses.
So there's a voiceover in Loyal's voice that says, that Perrin was a man of honor whose family was taken from him, and earlier super chat. Yeah, he was. His family was taken by Tam and Abel and Bran to safety. They completely fucking forgot that his family was totally fine in the show. Layla wasn't, but that was his fault.
Yes.
Am I missing something? They're taking something from the books again, and it's like forgetting what show they're in.
They just did that to get Tam, Abel, and Bran out of the village so that they could insert dickheads into their roles and make it.
And didn't have to cast them. It's because they weren't in the credits or whatnot. So
that's what I mean. Anyways. They should have recast. If they couldn't get Hatton or whatever for Tam, they should have recast him, obviously. But they didn't do that because they wanted Maxim to be the battle buddy general. It's literally that simple. It's stupid. And we wanted Marin to be creating the women's circle guard, so we get rid of Bran, so we don't have a village council. It's just all gender politics bullshit.
You're gonna love this next slide after this. I just want to sit here and savor Dain on his white horse, bloodstained armor, with the chained black man leading him out. I don't know where this is going to end. Honestly, our predictions on the bingo card were
he's literally getting
somehow this wouldn't happen, but it did happen. So it's the dumbest thing that could happen. We're going to have a fatal rescue plot in the next season. Yes. But
if the season 4 happens, that is 100% what's going to happen. And I just don't know how they managed to forget to put the white caps on him as they would ride him out of town. I don't know why they didn't do it.
No one knows. Anyway, this is my last frame from the actual show, but I do have one more slide, and that is an updated word count. Just so that you can see, this was actually a Perrin-heavy episode. He had by far and away the most lines. It actually boosted him up to 3rd overall in words spoken. Yeah, right. But it also boosted Mandarb, and it boosted MaxiPad up pretty high. So you can see MaxiPad is actually ahead of Alana, or Airtight Mosfani, as I call her.
But MaxiPad goes past the Leandrin.
Yeah. Now, Leandrin still has an episode, and it's probably a Leandrin heavy episode, so it won't end this way. But it's just at the current race, it's just wow, could you believe that Rafe's boyfriend would be this high up? I think he's 12th overall or 13th overall. Kind of nuts.
He's
Dain, the true hero. I got slightly ahead of Bane and Chiad. Fuck yeah, but I still. Still not enough to catch Gabriel. And Loyal, who said a combined total of 12 words in the last 3 or 4 episodes. He actually got a little bit. He got a respectable level. He's ahead of Landman Sad again. So
Land should be on the bottom. That would be fine.
Land is the strong silent type.
Land's had too many words by far.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to argue on this one because I think I prefer it when Land doesn't open his mouth. But yeah, but what's wild is What's wild is Mandarb and Maxipad are still behind Bear.
And that seems strange, man. That surprises me. I didn't think she'd talk that much.
She has a lot of lessons to give. And still behind Swan. Swan's only been in 3 of these episodes. And if the 8th episode actually does dominate the White Tower arc, which they might,
so
I could totally see Swan getting 400 words in the next episode and being like near the top.
Near the top. Well, what's interesting, they've got an hour worth of TV left to do Al Kedal, Tao Ku, and wrap up the Tanchico thing. They've got a poster with Matt with the fox head medallion. So this is where we're going to find out whether or not he's going to. I don't think he's going to do it. I think that was bullshit. But whether or not he's going to like fall through some doorway somewhere and end up in there, whatever. But so regardless, so they've got to do all these things in 1 hour of TV. It's going to be an absolute hot mess.
Look, dude, it's now maybe it's an hour and 10 minutes, but if the previous finales are any indication, we now finally have a finale that even show fans who have seen it say sucked. This is going to be off the fucking charts, like negative. I'm excited for it just to fucking see that. And the only worry I have is that they hate it because it's going to be so awesome in terms of people might die and our characters. I got some predictions. I'm saving them though for Amber's prediction stream. We're probably going to do it on Monday.
All right, but I'll jump if I'm feeling okay. I'll jump in for that too because I have some predictions too. I think they're going to skip out on the coup.
It might be in the middle of the night for you or late, and we don't want to keep you up. But Aldan, thanks for coming out. Thanks for co-piloting with me. I hope you had. Did you have fun?
I had an awesome time, man. I love it. It was more fun doing this than it was watching it. I watched it just coming out of treatment, and I tell you what, I was so confused. I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. I think I wrote some Twitter posts and started some fights. It was just insane.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you some lyrics, and I hope you strum on the guitar and maybe make a quick short video. We'll do that offline. But we got one more fucking episode to go. But I'd love to have you on for the finale, bro.
I'm there. I'll be there.
Perfect. All right, you stay strong, brother. Everybody in chat ignored you, but I warned you. We had a good time. We love you anyway. Thanks. Yeah. We do love you. We're going to read it after the fact, but we told you 1.5 speed so that I don't sound like an idiot. And everybody, walk in the light.
Yeah.
The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the Third Age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose in the mountains of mist. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time, but it was a beginning.